we are going to read this book, not me, but my mom is, that the book is called Mr. Sunny is Funny.
Thank you, Kensington. That's right, Mr. Sunny is Funny by Dan Gutman. Pictures by Jim Palut. I don't know how to say that. All right, here we go. Chapter 1 is called Yippee! With a whole bunch of exclamation points. That means he's yelling it. Hi, my name is AJ and I hate school. But I don't care about school anymore. You know why? Because last week I graduated from 2nd grade at elementary school. And 3rd grade doesn't start until September. Woohoo! Woohoo! You know what that means? That's right, it's summertime. I don't have to worry about school for 3 whole months. Yippee! Yes, Kaylee is here with me. Before school ended, my teacher, Mrs. Daisy, told us to write about our favorite season. We had to read our essays in front of everybody. My favorite season is spring, wrote Andrea Young, this annoying girl with curly brown hair. The sun is out, flowers are blooming, birds are chirping, butterflies flit to and fro. It fills me with joy and happiness. I hate Andrea. He's kind of a mean kid. We don't say hate, do we? No, I strongly dislike Andrea. What is her problem? Everybody knows the best season of all is summer. That's the first rule of being a kid. He has a lot of first rules of being a kid.
Like, I hate school.
Yeah. Summer blows the doors off the other season. You know why summer is so great? Because you don't have to sit all day. You don't have to pledge the allegiance or have circle time or learn the word of the day. You don't have to line up in ABC order and walk in single file. Teachers don't yell at you and you can't be sent to the principal's office. There's no disgusting cafeteria to eat. You don't have to read books. No homework. You don't have to learn stuff. My brain hurts from so much thinking all year long. In 2nd grade, I thought my head was gonna explode from thinking too much. During the school year, you have to go to bed early and get up early. In the summer, you can stay up late and get up late. The sun stays out until 9 o'clock at night. How does it know to do that? I guess the sun likes summer too. Summer is like 3 months of recess. You can have water balloon fights, eat saltwater taffy, and play football on the beach.
Saltwater?
Yeah. And you don't have to wear a coat or gloves. You can wear flip-flops and shorts with holes in them. Ice cream just tastes better. And you don't have to take so many showers because you can go swimming. I love swimming. I'm a great swimmer. In the summer, you can swim all day. Plus, in the summer, when you get sunburned, you can peel off your skin. That's terrible, AJ. What's cooler than peeling off your own skin? Gross. But there's the number one reason why summer is the best season. I don't have to see Andrea Young for 3 whole months. Yippee! 3 months is 12 weeks. That's 12 whole weeks with no Andrea. I got a calculator for Christmas and I figured it out. 12 weeks times 7 days in a week is 84 days. That's 84 days with no Andrea. And 84 days times 24 hours in a day is 2,016 hours. That's 2,016 hours without Andrea. And 2,016 hours times 60 minutes an hour is 120,960 minutes. That's 120,960 minutes with no Andrea. And 120,960 minutes with no Andrea times 60 seconds in a minute is 7,257,600 seconds. And that's more than 7 million seconds with no Andrea. That was a lot of numbers. That was tough. Yippee! And I'm going to enjoy every single one of them. Chapter 2, Hitting the Beach. If this was Amelia Bedelia and they said, Amelia Bedelia, let's hit the beach, she would run out there and smack the sand, wouldn't she? She would hit it. Let's see what AJ does. This summer, my parents rented a beach house. we're going to share it with my cousins, but they couldn't come. So we'll have a big beach house all to ourselves. The day after school ended, we packed up the car and drove 1,100,000 miles to the ocean. He likes to say 1,100,000, doesn't he? I can't wait to hit the beach, I said, looking out the car window. I had to sit in the back with my sister, Amy, who's going into 6th grade. She's annoying, but not quite as annoying as Andrea. You better watch out for the sand monster, AJ, my sister said. Sand monster? I never heard of a sand monster. There's no such thing as a sand monster, I said. Oh, yes, there is, Amy told me. He's a zombie who lives under the sand. He comes out when you least expect it, and he only eats boys. I bet Amy was yanking my chain. But I decided to keep my eyes open for a man-eating zombie sand monster, just to be on the safe side. We stopped at a Chinese restaurant because there wasn't any food at the beach house. Chinese food is cool because they give you chopsticks. So while you're waiting for the slowpoke grown-ups to finish eating, you can drum on the table or put chopsticks in your nose and pretend to be a walrus. Finally, we reached the beach house. It was too late to go swimming, but my parents said I could check out the beach while they unpacked our stuff. The ocean smelled good. There was a sign on the boardwalk that said, Sandcastle contest this week. Up in the sky, somebody was parasailing. Do you know what parasailing is? A parachute is strapped to your back and a boat pulls you with a rope. Parasailing is cool. I'm going to try it when I get bigger. The beach was almost empty, except for one thing, a backhoe. Do you know what a backhoe is? It's this yellow machine that digs stuff up. The backhoe was scooping up sand and dumping it onto a big pile. I went over to watch because machines are cool. A teenager was driving the backhoe. He had blonde hair and a whistle around his neck. Yo, dude, he said as he turned off the motor. My name's Evan, but everybody calls me Mr. Sunny. What's your name? My name is Arlo, but everybody calls me AJ, I said. What are you doing? Building a sandcastle, Mr. Sunny said. I'm going to enter the contest. It looks like a big pile of sand to me. Oh, wait until it's done, man, Mr. Sunny said. Right now, my castle is hidden within the sand, waiting to be born. Sand is my life, dude. Guys who say man and dude are cool. Mr. Sunny seemed pretty nice, even if he did like sand a little too much. He's like, I love sand. Is this your summer job? I asked. You build sandcastles? No, dude, Mr. Sunny said. I'm the lifeguard here. Will I see you out in the water tomorrow? You bet, I said. I'm a great swimmer. It was getting late. I said goodbye to Mr. Sunny and headed back to the beach house. I have great news, my mom yelled from the porch. I just got off the phone. One of your friends from school is going to be sharing the house with us. Yippee! I said. Who is it? Ryan? Michael? Neil? No, my mother replied. It's Andrea Young. What? No! Oh my. Chapter 3. Bummer in the summer. No! Not Andrea. Why did it have to be Andrea? Anybody but Andrea. Weren't there any bank robbers or criminals we could share our beach house with? Little Miss Perfect Know-It-All is so annoying. She thinks she is really smart. I know she'll be hanging around me all summer, bothering me and trying to show off how much she knows about everything. Please don't let Andrea come here, I begged my parents. Please, 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 please. Saying the word please over and over again will usually make grown-ups give you anything you want. Nobody knows why. But it didn't work this time. AJ, you better be nice to Andrea, my mother told me. Her mother and I are good friends. I don't get it. Why do I have to be friends with somebody just because her mom and my mom are friends? It's not fair. The next morning, a car pulled into the driveway, and guess who got out? Little Miss Annoying and her parents. Andrea was wearing pink sunglasses and a bathing suit that had butterflies on it. Hi, Arlo, said Andrea, who calls me by my real name because she knows I don't like it. Isn't this going to be a great summer? It was going to be a great summer, I said, but then you showed up. That's not nice, Arlo. Neither is your face, I told Andrea. My mother told me to be a gentleman and carry Andrea's suitcase upstairs for her. What do you have in here? Rocks? I asked. No, silly, Andrea said. Books. It's my summer reading. Every summer I set a goal for myself. This year my goal is to read the complete works of Shakespeare. What? She's only in 2nd grade? You're going to read about a guy who shakes a spear? I asked. See, I told you he's kind of like Amelia Bedelia. He thinks Shakespeare is a guy who shakes a spear. William Shakespeare is the most famous writer in history, Andrea said. If you opened a book once in a while, you'd know that, Arlo. Hey, I opened a book once, I said, and then I closed it. Why, she asked. Because there were words inside. Andrea picked up one of her dumb Shakespeare books and started reading out loud. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing in them. Isn't that lovely, Arlo? Andrea asked. I said, pretending to be asleep. That Shakespeare guy makes no sense at all. The question isn't to be or not to be. I'll tell you what the question is. Do you want ice cream or cake? That is the question. Trick biking or skateboarding? That is the question. TV or video games? That is the question. Would it be better if a piano or an elephant fell on Andrea's head? That is the question. Andrea lined up her dumb books on a shelf in ABC order. Hey, maybe we can read together on the beach, Arlo, Andrea said. What did you bring for summer reading? Summer reading? What is her problem? Summer and reading are 2 words that should never be put together in the same sentence. The only reading I brought was a comic book that I finished in the car. It was about a superhero named Mold Man who can turn his body into any shape. He's cool. I bet Mold Man would kick Shakespeare's butt. Wow. All right, aggressive. Andrea's mom said we could go to the beach as long as we came back in time for lunch. Then we'd have to wait an hour before we went swimming again. Mothers always make you wait an hour after you eat before you can go swimming. Nobody knows why. I guess sharks can smell the food in your stomach and will eat you to get it. I showed Andrea how to get to the beach. The backhoe was gone, but Mr. Sunny was out there working on his big pile of sand. He was concentrating so hard that he didn't even notice us. Who's that boy? Andrea asked. That's Mr. Sunny, the lifeguard, I told her. He's a hunk, Andrea whispered. A hunk of what? I asked. He's dreamy. Andrea had on a zombie face. Her mouth was open and she was making goo-goo eyes at Mr. Sunny. Ugh, disgusting. All right, chapter 4. Mr. Sunny is weird. Mr. Sunny had a baseball cap on his head and earphones in his ears. He was working very hard on his sandcastle, using a plastic shovel to carve the walls. Finally, he noticed me and Andrea watching him. Hi, AJ, he said. Who's your girlfriend? She's not my girlfriend, I said. I'm not his girlfriend, Andrea said. Well, who's your friend that's a girl? Asked Mr. Sunny. She's not my friend either, I told him. Friends are people you like. This is Andrea. Charmed, Andrea said all giggly. She did one of those curtsy things girls do. I love your sandcastle. What a brown-noser. As soon as Andrea started talking to Mr. Sunny, she acted like I wasn't even there. I'm going to win the contest, Mr. Sunny said. First prize is a trip to France. I'm going to go to college there and study sand sculpture from the great sand masters. That sounds awesome, Andrea gushed. Are you in high school? Yeah, I'm 16. Is Sunny your real name? Asked Andrea. Nah, Mr. Sunny said. My name is Evan. Everybody calls me Mr. Sunny because I love the sun so much. What's in a name? Said Andrea. That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Shakespeare wrote that, you know. Ugh. Mr. Sunny took off his baseball cap and showed it to us. It had solar panels bit right into it. Then he turned around and showed us that his tank top had solar panels built into it too. The solar panels power my iPod, Mr. Sunny told us. Why do we have to burn gas or coal when all the power we need is right there in the sky? Global warming is a bummer, man. I hate global warming, little Miss Brown-Noser said. If Mr. Sunny said he hated butterflies, Andrea probably would have said she hates them too. Excuse me, Mr. Sunny said. I can't talk right now. I have to work on my sandcastle before the beach fills with kids. Men of few words are the best men, Andrea said. Shakespeare wrote that too. Mr. Sunny took off his shirt and went back to carving the castle. When he turned around, all I could see was the word Sunny written across his back in white letters. Is that a tattoo? I asked. No, Mr. Sunny said. I cut the letters Sunny out of paper and taped them to my back. It's a sunny sunburn. Andrea was all giggly and told him his sunburn was cool. I bet you have lots of girlfriends, Andrea said. Oh, I don't have time for that, Mr. Sunny replied. Sand is my life. See, I told you he loves the sand. Mr. Sunny is funny, but if you ask me, people who wear solar panels and tape letters to their backs are weird. Soon the beach was filled with people, blankets and umbrellas. I went for a swim. When I came back, Andrea and a bunch of other kids had gathered around Mr. Sunny. Part of being a lifeguard is to teach you kids about first aid, he said. Does anybody know what to do if a person is drowning and can't breathe? Little Miss I Know Everything waved her hand in the air, just like she was at school. But Mr. Sunny called on me, so nana nana boo boo to you, Andrea. It depends on who's drowning, I said. If the quarterback of your Pee-wee football team is drowning, then you have to get a new quarterback right away, because if you don't have a quarterback, you'll have to forfeit the game. Everybody laughed, even though I didn't say anything funny. Andrea rolled her eyes. How about you, Andrea? Asked Mr. Sunny. If somebody is drowning, she said, you give them mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. That's right, Mr. Sunny said. Andrea stuck her tongue out at me. I stuck mine right back out at her. Arlo, don't you remember when Officer Spence gave mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to Mrs. Daisy at our graduation? Andrea asked. It was just last week. How am I supposed to remember what happened last week? Do you need a volunteer to practice mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on? Asked one of the girls. They got all giggly and waved their hands in the air. Me, shouted Andrea. Please, please, please pick me. Okay, Mr. Sunny said. Andrea, you're my volunteer. Yay! Andrea squealed, jumping up and down. I tell you, that please thing works every time. Mr. Sunny told Andrea to lie on the sand. Okay, he said, pretend you were drowning. I dragged you up on the beach and you can't breathe. I can do that, I said. You can pretend you were drowning and you can't breathe? Mr. Sunny asked. No, I can pretend that Andrea was drowning and can't breathe, I told him. I do it every day. You're mean, Arlo. Mr. Sunny knelt down next to Andrea. She closed her eyes. He tilted her head back a little and pinched her nostrils shut with his fingers. Then he told us he was going to pretend to blow a few breaths of air into Andrea's mouth so she would be able to breathe again. He leaned over until his mouth was almost touching hers. Andrea puckered up her lips. Oh my gosh, are they going to kiss? Ew, disgusting. Mr. Sunny was about to kiss Andrea. I thought I was going to throw up. That's when the strangest thing in the history of the world happened. Shark! Somebody yelled. There's a shark in the water! Chapter 5. A Strange Visitor. We all looked up. Sure enough, in the distance, there was a shark fin sticking out of the water. Wow, everybody said, which is Mom upside down. Eek! Somebody screamed. Sharks are scary. My friend Billy, who lives around the corner, told me a shark can bite your head off like it's eating grapes. I saw a movie where the shark ate a bunch of people. In the end, some guy threw a tank filled with gas in the shark's mouth and blew it up. It was cool. Everybody on the beach was yelling and screaming and freaking out. You should have been there. Mr. Sunny blew his whistle and shouted, Everybody out of the water! Leave this to me. I know how to handle sharks. I'll lure it away from the beach. Then he went running into the ocean. Mr. Sunny is so brave, Andrea sighed. That's not brave, I said. That's dumb. The shark could bite his head off like a grape. We all watched as Mr. Sunny dived into the water. He was swimming right towards the shark. What a dumbhead. I was sure the shark was going to bite Mr. Sunny's head off like a grape. But it didn't. Because just as Mr. Sunny reached the shark, we figured something out. It wasn't a shark after all. No, it was a guy with a shark fin strapped to his back. Mr. Sunny dragged him up to the beach. The guy was wearing flippers and a diving mask. We all gathered around. I thought Mr. Sunny might have to give the guy mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. He was choking and spitting out water. Whoa, 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 said the guy. Are you okay, dude? Asked Mr. Sunny. G'day, mates, the guy said. He had a funny voice. Yes, I believe I'm okay. What's your name, man? Asked Mr. Sunny. George Granite. Dude, why do you have a shark fin attached to your back? Mr. Sunny said. You scared us to death, man. I'm a long-distance swimmer, Mr. Granite said. Sometimes I roll over on my back, and the fin helps me stay in a straight line. Where did you swim from? Somebody asked. Australia. What? Australia? I said. That's like 1,100,000 miles away. You swam all the way across the Pacific Ocean? Asked Andrea. Well, I did stop to rest on a passing turtle, Mr. Granite said. It was totally amazing. But if you ask me, people who swim across oceans with shark fins on their backs are weird. Chapter 6. Na-na-na-boo-boo. You know how your teacher says you have to read a chapter in a book before you can have fun? And you really don't want to? Well, read this chapter and then go have fun and tell your teacher na-na-na-boo-boo. What?
I guess this chapter's
That was it. That was the chapter. That's so funny. That was just the chapter.
Wait, that's... Oh my.
You would totally do that. Kizzy, read a chapter and then you can watch YouTube. And this one says, read this chapter and then go have fun and tell your teacher na-na-na-boo-boo. And that was it.
Oh, I would probably do that.
Yeah, you would.
Na-na-na-boo.
Andrea, we're moving on to chapter 7 now. Andrea and the L word. What's the L word?
I know.
What? Loser. Great news! The next day, my parents said my friends Ryan and Michael and Neil could come and spend a week with us at our beach house. Yay! I guess my parents felt bad about sticking me with Andrea all summer. I was so excited when Michael's dad pulled his car into the driveway. Me and the guys went right out to the beach to play football. Our Pee Wee football team lost every game last year, but we are getting a new coach this year named Coach Hyatt, so maybe we'll be better. Go out for a long bomb, I shouted to Ryan. Playing football in the sand is cool because you can dive for the ball like they do on TV, and when you're all hot and sweaty, you can just jump into the water to cool off. When me and the guys got tired of playing football, we walked down the beach. Mr. Sunny was working on a sandcastle. He had rulers and buckets of water, popsicle sticks, and lots of other carving tools. And guess what brown-nosing know-it-all was helping him? Andrea, of course. Hi, Mr. Sunny, I said. These are my friends Ryan, Michael, and Neil. We call Neil the nude kid, even though he wears clothes. I'm sorry, Arlo, Andrea told me, but Mr. Sunny cannot talk to you right now. He is a sand artist. Except that she said artiste. What's up with that? The sand is my canvas, Mr. Sunny said without even looking at us. What did you say?
Show the people the page.
Oh. Sorry, Kizzy said I should show. It's looking pretty
Big.
fancy. Kaylee is sitting over there. She'll just have to see the picture whenever she watches the video.
Yeah.
The sand is Mr. Sunny's canvas, repeated Andrea. I must have just the perfect mixture of sand and water to create my sand masterpiece, said Mr. Sunny. I call it my sanderpiece.
My centerpiece. Get it? Sand. They're making a sand castle. My centerpiece.
Thank you.
And stick in my masterpiece.
Yep. Mr. Sunny must have just the perfect mixture of sand and water to create his sanderpiece. I am one with the sand, Mr. Sunny, said Mr. Sunny. The sand speaks to me. Shh, said Andrea. Mr. Sunny is speaking with the sand. Mr. Sunny closed his eyes and was mumbling something to himself. I couldn't hear all the words, but it had something to do with sand. Sheesh, people who talk to sand are weird. Andrea stepped away from the castle and pulled me aside. Arlo, I'm in love, she whispered. Ugh. Andrea spoke the L word. With who? I asked. Beside yourself, I mean. Who do you think? Andrea said. Mr. Sunny. He's brave and handsome, and he's an artistic genius. See how he leans his cheek on his hand? Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. Shakespeare wrote that, you know. Andrea's in love with Mr. Sunny. Oh, brother. That Shakespeare dude was annoying. The guys came over to hear what Andrea was whispering about. Mr. Sunny is 16 years old. He is way too old for you. I already figured it out, Andrea said. Mr. Sunny is 7 years older than me. So when he's 30, I'll be 23. That's not so bad. And when he's 58, I'll be 51. And when he's... Okay, I get it, I said, but he's too old for you now. I don't care, Andrea said. Love is blind, and lovers cannot see. The course of true love never did run smooth. Shakespeare wrote that too. Did that guy ever write anything in English? I asked. Shakespeare was English, you fobbing toad-spotted maggot pie, said Andrea. Oh, snap, said Ryan. Are you going to take that, AJ? Michael said. She called you a fobbing toad-spotted maggot pie. I don't even know what that means, I said. It's not in Shakespeare language. It sounds like bad words to me, said Neil, the nude kid. I have it all planned out, Andrea told us. When I grow up, Mr. Sunny and I will be married right here on the beach.
Oh, no.
She's already talking about getting married?
And you are way too young. Because I'm 7 and I don't even talk about that.
Yeah, good. We'll have solar paneled bungalow and cook our meals on a solar powered stove. I'll help him build sandcastles all day long. It will be so romantic. Does Mr. Sunny know about this? Asked Ryan. Oh no, Andrea whispered. It's a secret. I'm not going to tell him until I'm 18 and he's 25. Girls are weird. Chapter 8. Love is dumb. Girls are weird, I told the guys as we walked away from Andrea. You can say that again, Michael said. Girls are weird. We walked down the beach to scope out some other sandcastles that people were building. They were really lame. Girls are always falling in love, Ryan said. Ugh, disgusting, we all agreed. I'm never gonna fall in love, said Neil, the new kid. Me neither, said Michael. Love is dumb. Well, if Andrea is in love with Mr. Sunny, at least she won't be bugging me anymore, I told the guys. I think you're jealous, AJ, said Ryan. What? You're jealous that Andrea's in love with Mr. Sunny. I am not, I insisted. R2, Ryan said. You tried to talk her out of being in love with him. I did not. Did too. We went back and forth like that for a while. I did not. Did too. Did not. Did too. Oh, come on, AJ, said Michael. It's so obvious you and Andrea are secretly in love. That's why you're so mean to each other. Everybody knows that if you like a girl, you act like you hate her. What? That didn't make any sense. Yeah, Neil said. If you really hated Andrea, you would act nice to her. That would prove you hate her. My brain hurt. We went up to the boardwalk and bought saltwater taffy with some money my mom gave us. I got a bag of chocolate taffy. Michael got cinnamon taffy. Neil got strawberry taffy. Ryan got broccoli taffy? Ryan will eat anything, even stuff that isn't food. One time he ate part of the seat cushion on the school bus. What? I thought about what the guy said. Being mean to Andrea showed that I liked her, and being nice would show that I hated her. So if I wanted the guys to stop teasing me about being in love with Andrea, I would have to be really nice to her. We went back to the beach to see how Mr. Sunny was doing on his castle. He was talking to the sand with his eyes closed. Oh, I love you so much, sand. Yes. I called Andrea over. I brought you a present, I said, handing her my bag of saltwater taffy. Sweets to the sweet. Oh, thank you, Arlo, Andrea said. I didn't know you knew Shakespeare. Huh? Sweets to the sweet, she said. Shakespeare wrote that. He did? Ooh, Ryan said. AJ's talking that Shakespeare talked to Andrea and giving her candy. They must be in love. When are you going to get married? Asked Michael. If those guys weren't my best friends, I would hate them. Chapter 9. Much ado about nothing. Me and the guys went back up to the boardwalk. We walked past a Chinese fast food restaurant there. Just seeing it made me hungry, but I couldn't get food because I spent the money my mom gave me on saltwater taffy, and I gave most of the taffy to Andrea. Bummer in the summer. What do you guys want to do? I asked the guys. I don't know, said Ryan. What do you want to do? I don't know, said Michael. What do you want to do? I asked you first, I said. We went back and forth like that for a while. Finally, Neil, the nude kid, suggested we go booger boarding, which made no sense to me. Who wants to put boogers on a board? But then he said he meant boogie boarding, which is completely different and much more fun. Yeah, nobody wants to booger board. Gross. The only problem was that we didn't have a boogie board. We could dig a hole, suggested Ryan. Digging holes is cool, said Michael. Maybe we'll find buried treasure, Neil the nude kid said. Then we can use it to buy some food. We went down to the beach to dig a hole. My friend Billy, who lives around the corner, told me that if you dig a hole deep enough, it will go all the way to China. Hey, I told the guys, if we dig a hole to China, maybe we'll end up near a Chinese restaurant. I bet they'll give us Chinese food. Then we don't even need to find buried treasure, Michael said. Great idea, AJ, said Ryan. That's why I'm in the gifted and talented program at school. The four of us started digging with our hands. I could almost taste the Chinese food we were going to eat once we reached China. Hey, Ryan said, what's the deal with this jumbo shrimp? It's either jumbo or it's shrimpy. It can't be both. Yeah, said Michael. And how can you have sweet and sour pork? Either it's sweet or it's sour. What's up with that? Yeah, I said. And how do they know which ribs are the spare ones? Chinese food is weird. We were all digging in the sand when the strangest thing in the history of the world happened. Hey, Neil suddenly shouted. There's something down there. What is it? I asked. Buried treasure? No, it's a hand. Ah! We all screamed. And the fingers are moving. Ah! We all screamed. It's the sand monster, I shouted. My sister told me about it. It's a zombie, and it eats boys. Run for your lives, shouted Neil. That's when this giant, human-shaped creature pushed his way out from under the sand. It stood up. Ah! We all screamed. The sand monster started shaking itself off, and that's when I realized it wasn't a sand monster at all. It was Mr. Granite, that weird guy who swam all the way from Australia. Thanks for digging me up, blokes, said Mr. Granite. I must have dozed off on the beach. I guess some kids covered me with sand as a prank. Then he just walked away, like it was completely normal. There's the sand zombie. Mr. Granite sure has a weird way of popping up out of nowhere. Down the beach, we saw that Mr. Sunny had put up a big fence around his sandcastle. I guess he was afraid that somebody might damage it before the judging. A bunch of kids were watching him work on the castle, but Andrea wasn't around. Where's Andrea? I asked Mr. Sunny. I cannot talk right now, he replied. I must have silence with the sand. I must be one with the sand. Wow, Kaylee, he's nuts. Mr. Sunny is funny. We found Andrea down by the water, reading one of her Shakespeare books. She looked like she had been crying. What's your problem? I asked Andrea. Mr. Sunny won't talk to me, she said, dabbing her eyes with a tissue. He always says he needs to be alone with his sands. Those words are razors to my wounded heart. This was the unkindest cut of all. Oh, I am a fortune's fool. Alas, I am a woman friendless, hopeless. This Shakespeare talk is really annoying, but I never saw Andrea cry before. I almost felt sorry for Andrea. Almost. That's when I got the greatest idea in the history of the world. I could prove once and for all that I didn't like Andrea. I know how you can get Mr. Sunny to notice you, I told Andrea. You should pretend to drown. Mr. Sunny will have to save you. The guys all agreed I was a genius, and that I should get the Nobel Prize. That's a prize they give out to people who don't have bells. See, he and Amelia Bedelia would just get along great, Kaylee. It would never work, Andrea said. I've been taking swimming lessons since I was 3. I'm an excellent swimmer. Mr. Sunny doesn't know that, I told her. Just fake it and pretend you can't swim. But that would be like lying, Andrea said. Andrea doesn't know the first thing about lying. Lying is when you say your dog ate your homework when you don't even have a dog. Pretending to drown isn't lying, I told her. You can't tell a lie if you don't talk. And if you're drowning, you don't talk, except to yell, help! Actually, drowning people say, whoa, whoa, said Michael. I saw that in a movie once. First, they yell help, Ryan said. And then they say glob, glob as they're drowning. I don't care what drowning people say, Andrea yelled. I won't do it. Sheesh, what a grouch. All right, we're ready for chapter 10.